Every once in a while, Wizards of the Coast throws us a bone, and that is exactly what they have done for new players. If you do not have a deep collection, this right here, my friends, is highly recommended. As you can see, I have not done this challenge, but let's talk about this a little bit. We're going to get into the matches, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about this event at the tail end of it. I haven't been able to find a lot of information on this online, but all we have to do is read this a little bit. So what we're doing here is every year, Wizards of the Coast gives us for free 10 starting decks. This year it was Angelic Accountants. We then got Balancing Act. We also have Blossoming Growth. Moving on to Grave Matters, Ignite the Forge, and then you have On the Hunt, Spellweaver, Stealthy Subterfuge, Storm of Blades, and Strength in Numbers. The best decks in here, in my opinion, are going to be On the Hunt, Strength in Numbers, and Stealthy Subterfuge when you're looking at the stuff in a vacuum. For new players, people that are kind of stuck with that, the starter decks, and that's all you have, you used to just have to kind of get lucky, really, going in against players that aren't necessarily playing the starter decks. You had to be very lucky to find people that were just as new to the game as you, but now we actually have a space to play these starter decks. And if you are brand new to the game, this also means that there's going to be a Spark League that's below Bronze, where you can learn how to play Magic the Gathering without just getting obliterated every time you run up a match, whether it is because you have a small account or because you don't know a whole lot about Magic the Gathering. This is a place where you could just duel away. I believe you could just get to the 3 wins and stay in this event indefinitely, and anytime you want to come back and play these decks, you can in here. Now, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to do this, and then we're going to talk about what this means for Wizards of the Coast going forward. All right, so thinking about this, I know that some of these decks are superior to others, so we're going to focus on those that I think are superior, and our first match is going to be with On the Hunt. It has been a long time since I've played the starter decks. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that I did a whole series on these guys and then multiple series about upgrading these guys. Something I like to do every year to keep the budget-friendly aspect of this game together. And I will say, we notice the speed at which the opponent is playing. That's going to happen in these. He's trying to figure out his decks. I know these decks mostly because I played with these decks quite a bit. They're free, why not? But other folks, maybe brand new to the game, just uploaded Magic the Gathering or haven't played for a while. That's what you're mostly going to get in here. Venomous Connoisseur. We don't really want to swing, but we kind of do too. I'm going to do it. I don't know if he knows not to block. And we're going to go green. Boom. He does not block. That's both good for us. It's mostly good. Venom Connoisseur is not my favorite card of all time. Now we can start creating a our wolves. Join the dance. Very good for the opponent. Gets that death touch. Strength in Numbers is another one of those from the starter decks that I actually really like. We could swing here, see what he does. Nothing has trample or haste, so we're good to swing here. We did not get mana for turn. What do? He's thinking about blocks. Double blocking the Naturalist. And that's when we Wolf Strike. Huh. So, it is quite a shame. But we will lose a naturalist here. We get to take out 2 of their little creature things, and we get to create a little wolf guy. And we go to night. That's whenever Child of the Pact actually becomes good. We're going to try to just beat down the opponent. Opponent not stuck on mana, though we are. Let's see, Gathering Throng. This is one of the reasons why that deck is actually pretty decent. Gathering Throng, you can only reach down and grab... I think you could grab them all, right? Search your number or library for any number of cards named Gathering Throng. So he could put all of that into his hand. It's really good because then you don't draw them. He only gets 1. I think that deck highlights 3. So he had one of these cards is probably the 3rd one. Or he just doesn't quite know how that works. One of the 2. 5, Trample, and a 3/2. I don't see any reason to hold back. He's going to take the 8. And now it's time for us to drop some more creatures off for him. Isn't that cute? We go back to day. Mana. Gathering Throng. Growing it up quite a bit. Connoisseur gets Death Touch. Fantastic stuff. Now, are you actually going to use your Death Touch? Swings, I take. Huh. And here we go with the Tovolar, Dire Overlord. If you want really budget-friendly stuff, Werewolves is always going to be the way to go. Whenever a wolf or a werewolf deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. These are all wolves, and that's a werewolf. He's going to block the 2 here. Interesting stuff. We do get to draw some cards and fill up our hand, and that's, my friends, why this is one of the best starter decks. It's just really good. No mana still. And he joins the dance, creates a couple more. I just don't like the Venom Connoisseur. We still have Fatal coming at him, even if he blocks all. He only blocked 4. So he is not sitting in very good shape. All right. Much ado about nothing. Let's just go ahead and swing. Give Wolf Strike for whoever gets through. And that should be it. Yep, he takes it. Yay! The really neat thing about this event, yeah, I enjoyed that quite a bit. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for asking. But the thing I like about this quite a bit is not only do you get to play these 10 dual decks in here, but you get to get rares. And that is, okay, that's already collected. Well, I'll take free gems any day of the week. That was On the Hunt. Let's go, and we're going to look at Blossoming Growth next. There's just too much in this deck that's really worth playing to not want to play this and highlight this in this video. All big things. I think this is actually a mulligan, though there is a lot of ramp in this deck. I'm going to mull it. It's worse. It is worse, but I think I'm keeping it. Hullbreaker Horror, we want. These 3 we want. Croaking Counterpart is pretty garbage, so we'll drop that off. Mana, tapped. We got the blue. That's all we needed to make this good. We can make it Mana Dork now. But I think we channel it on his turn. Doesn't say anything about has to be cast as a sorcery. Citizen's Crowbar. That's artifact or enchantment. That makes our deck a lot worse. Because sure, we're going to get this. Then we're going to get this into this. We're going to get the mana out of our library. But he very likely kills the Boseiju right now. That's what he should do. He should kill that right now. Plays a Reliquary. Burning Slash. He does kill it. So good on you, opponent. Bam. Again, this deck has a lot of ramp. And you know what? I'm going to swing for one. Just because I'm baller like that. We're not blocking with the Dork. Kami of Terrible Secrets. Really nice. He does not control an artifact and an enchantment. He just controls the artifact here. And we go to my turn. Now we got plenty of mana for a Hullbreaker Horror. That will be nice. We could Sludge Monster here. And I think we do. Blah. Make you sludge. Swing. Yeah, he's a small guy now. Uh-oh. We get some double block action? We sure are. Kill this thing. It's fine. We still have the Hullbreaker Horror. Naomi. Really good card. But it attacks if you control an artifact and an enchantment. Create a 1/1. Zuza of Mini Journey. Drop another land into Hullbreaker Horror, but we are going to swing first. Swing away. That's a 2/2. Yep. He has Flash, so we don't necessarily have to cast it yet, so we won't. Mysterious Limousine. Okay. He's probably taking the Sludge Monster. He sure is. Interesting. Now we just need non-creature spells. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Swings for 4. We let it pass. No blocks. Should have blocked that, but hey. I want to feel like we could just take him out with the Hullbreaker Horror. Swing for heavy 7. Play the Boseiju. Reaches skyward. Return that to your hand. We get the Sludge Monster back, and then we can do some shenanigans. Awesome. Yep, just build out the field. Mysterious Limousine comes down. Probably going for the Hullbreaker Horror now. Yep. That's the one. That's the ticket. Sack it. Sack it. You know you want to. You know you want to. Nothing. Alright, we got one of the Likeness of the Seekers out. I think again we just swing for 5. Come on in there. Water's fine. Definitely hitting this Naomi, Pillar of the Order again. That's the only target we have. So we'll swing. Take that. Have at you. Mana for turn. He doesn't know what this card is. This was a better mana to place down, but since he doesn't know what this card is, I'm going to leave it in hand. And Restoration of Ijanjo goes down and grabs a Plains. And what are you going to do? Okay. Interesting stuff. Using the against all odds here. He's got to take advantage of that right now. But he can't. That might have been just an act of desperation. Unless he wants to crew the vehicle, take the Sludge Monster. Okay, we got our 9-9, guys. 10-10. Okay, psychic pickpocket. Echinize. Return that. Yes. And then swing in like this. And of course, we're going to turn that into a 2-2. Beautiful stuff. Does not crew. Blocks the 1-1. Just taking the L here. So 2 very easy wins. For our prize, we get... Oh, heck. Well, we got another gem. So not so lucky on the gold cards. But we do have one more round to play. And we're going to choose to play with... Kind of up in the air about this one, but I think Ignite the Forge is a fun deck. It's very interactive. And for our final round, we get an Oni-Cult Anvil in hand, which is great. Well, land base is terrible. But let's start off with the tramway station. At least we get the dual color lands in this deck. Uh-huh. I think now we start to build out the Oni-Cult Anvil. We're going to have the Falcon Wrath Forebearer come out and start to balance our field off quite a bit. Venomous Connoisseur comes out. Again, we are dealing with that deck. Flying. 3-1. Yes, sir. Can't block. I don't think that this deck has a lot of removal in it. I think it has Burning Slash. Rumor Gatherer is a very good card for this deck. But I think we have our engine kind of ready to roll. Yep, come on in. My turn. Drop the beetle. Discard a card. Yep. Pretty good card to discard, but we're going to swing in for 3. Take our blood. Play another Oni-Cult Anvil. Use the Oni-Cult Anvil to pop the blood. And that is 2 little guys. This holds back the Venomous Connoisseur pretty nicely. Not the Venomous Connoisseur, but the Gatherer. Hold for Ransom is a great card off the top for the opponent to get rid of that forebear. We can still combo, though. That's the whole thing. Yep, everything's got Death Touch. Okay. Swings? Ah, he swings smartly. We'll block like this. Then we're going to sack it. We gain a life, you lose a life. Pretty simple stuff. And before our swings... No. Yes? Swing. He could block with the 1/1s. And he's going to. Well, we're going to sack this. I was hoping he'd make a mistake and block with the Rumor Gatherer. Oh, why can't I cast for 4? 4 mana, right? Oh, wait, because we're still in the supposed battle phase. Right. Okay, there we go. There we go. Pop him like that. And that's it. We have this guy up to make a block. If he doesn't attack with the Rumor Gatherer, then, you know, we chump block but sack our own thing. We can let him keep those 2/2s. Darling of the Masses, a very good card for what he's doing. And he's probably going to be able to hold us off pretty well. Waiting on an opponent to make a move. He decides to pass to my turn. Well, I'm going to sack this dude here. Nah, we're going to keep it. Oh, a third only Colt Anvil. That is absolutely bonkers. Okay. What do we want to do here? Should we just turn all sideways? Give him some awkward decisions to make? Okay. Oh, going for the kill on the twin shot sniper. Yep, just like that. That's perfect. Okay. Let this damage go through real quick. Beautiful. Beautiful stuff. 3 Oni Colt Anvils. Another Rumor Gatherer. You gotta be swinging to really use that Rumor Gatherer, man. Just a little word of advice. Another Venom Connoisseur. Gotta say it fancy, otherwise you ain't doing it right. Oh, yeah, looking good. Yep, he'll definitely outpace me on 1-1. So we have to find a way to really get damage off. Okay. And we will sack it. No damage for me, 1 for thee. Yeah, we'll sack 1 more. This gives us a net positive. And then we'll go to my turn. Circuit Mender. Very good card. And we're going to pop this. We're not attacking. Make him come to us. Go ahead and pop that. Draws a card. Smelters, very good for us. And definitely not attacking with 2 dudes. They just both die. 1 to the block with the Darling of the Masses, and 1 to a block with the Venom Connoisseur. But we can still do damage. He's kind of on a 2 or 3 game clock. Again, coming in with a Celebrity Fencer. Yep. He gets to do all kinds of things. He's starting to build up his alliance little thing now. So he's growing. We're going to resolve all. We should be able to kill him before he could kill us, though. That's the whole point of this deck. Yeah. Oh, that's a good card, too. Look at this guy's board state. Too bad there's not any life gain with what he's doing right now. He can't gain any life, so every turn he's just going to lose basically 3 health. Before going to my turn, I see now that this is important to do. We're going to have to get most of our damage off that away. Circuit Mender. Yep, gain a couple of life. And we'll actually pay, discard 1 of these smelters. Creates 3 more. We get a mana. We don't have enough for the smelter. But I think we did enough for that turn. No attacks. Take to the streets. Oh, man. Oh, man. They don't get trampled, though, right? Right. Coming in hot and heavy. Just like the doctor ordered. Okay. So here's what we do. We're going to pass. I'm going to take these two. We're going to block here. I'm going to take this one, block here. Take this one, block here. And this one and block here. Okay, then we're going to sack this guy here. He loses a life. Boom, down to 5. We're going to sack this guy here. He's going to lose a life. Boom. We're going to sack this guy here. You're going to lose a life. Boom. Then we're going to tank the rest of this. We have to draw a card off of that, so that's always awesome. It is a mana. It is another mana. But let's just end this now in the fanciest way possible. Oni Cold Anvil, sacking, trading 3 1/1s. Oni Cold Anvil, popping this. Taking another damage. Oni Cold Anvil, sacking this. Opponent says good game. I say good game, and that is it. 3-0. Woohoo! And just as expected, we could hit this play button again. So, now that the matches are over, we got the max awards for these. But if you guys want to continue playing with these starter deck duels, right, get a really good grasp of what these decks are doing, start to understand your opponents, it kind of creates its own little metagame within the metagame of the entire Magic the Gathering universe. This is not standard metagame. This is not historic metagame. This is not Pauper. This is 10 constructed decks, and whoever does the best with it, I mean, that's a cool little challenge to do. You're not going to get much reward outside of just doing your dailies and getting your daily wins out of the way down here. Yes, and that's one reason I played through this stuff, to make sure that this actually does go towards your daily wins, and it does. So this is another one of those major steps that Wizards of the Coast has done to make the economy in Arena more playable. They also have a new rank that's going to be happening, and that's going to be called the Spark tier. Spark is going to be for very new players before they are thrown to the fire, because I think that happened to a lot of players where you start to play and you start to build your collection and you're not too familiar with the game, but you like the game, and then you have to go up against Esper Control on day 4 or 5. It is brutal, it is eye-opening, and a lot of people might walk away from the game because of that. That is why I think that Spark ranking is very intelligent on Wizards' part. Also, for players that don't have a lot of resources to spend, you can come over here and play those dual decks. Like, say that you get a daily that wants you to accomplish, let's say 25 green or blue creatures, but you don't have a Simic deck. So, come over here. Go into this little area, choose Blossoming Growth, and voila, you're off to the races. You could cast those green and blue spells because it allows you to do it with Blossoming Growth. Also, if you don't have these big decks to swing at people and you just want to play a couple of rounds of good old-fashioned Magic without it being too competitive, this is a great place for you. And while you're doing this, you are gaining your coins from doing your dailies every day. Yeah, it allows it to where you don't really have to bust any resources to build a deck, not even a budget deck. I really enjoy this. I think that this was a nice touch. This is going to help a lot of people out when it comes to actually staying involved with the game, because you feel like everybody else's deck is too big for you. FOMO could get really bad in Magic the Gathering Arena, but this helps mitigate that problem quite a bit, because let's say that you just don't have the cards available to play in ranked and you just want to play a couple of games. Do it here. There's no shame in it. And the decks are all pretty basic too. It really helps you learn the game. Like Grave Matters, it takes you about very basic graveyard shenanigans, as well as introducing Consuming Blob, and etc., etc., etc. I could go on with all of these, but that's going to be a really long video. So I just wanted to say I really appreciate Wizards doing this. Thank you. Thank you, Papa Wizards, for giving us a bone, something that we could do in the arena. It's not highly competitive, and that we could actually play with a new account and have a little bit of fun doing it. Thank you for joining me today in the arena. It is actually quite a pleasure to have you along for this journey, to make these videos for you guys, to spread the word of my favorite game that ever existed. Yeah, I just really appreciate you guys being here. Channel is doing fantastic, and I couldn't do it without you guys. That's it. That's all I have for today. I'm out of words. Bye.